Hi, so in this video we will study about the mathematical functions which are used in Google Sheets most commonly. So as you can see in this sheet, we are having three worksheets. So we'll look at the different mathematical functions in these sheets. So we have this data over which we will apply these mathematical functions to get certain results, for which we have already created some tables on the right hand side. So we need to fill these values in these tables using certain mathematical functions in Google Sheets. Okay, so let's see what this table is, the data table. So this table gives us the name of some agents and their team leads, then their categories and departments, and then the number of incoming calls and outgoing calls which they have handled and their average score. Because usually in call centers, for quality purpose, the calls are tested by certain testing team members and they award marks based upon the way the call was handled by a particular agent. So these different agents are having different average scores. Now in this table we actually need to determine the team size. So we are having the names of the team leads and we need to determine what is the size of each team. And in this table we are having certain categories and departments, and in a given category under a department we need to determine the number of agents. So here we'll be interested in finding the number of agents in the department 2 where the category is 10 LAS, and likewise for the other departments and categories. And here we need to determine the number of team leads. So let's start. So basically we want to count the number of team members in a given team so as to determine the size of the team. So in such cases we use a function known as count. So whenever we have to start a function in Google Sheets, we will start it always with an equal to sign, and then we will type the name of the function. So we want to count the number of team members in a given team or under a particular team lead. So we will use the function count. Now there are different functions under count. So here we will use COUNTIF because we want to count only if a particular team member falls under this team lead, and similarly for this team lead. So we do not want the count of total team members, we just want to count a team member if he or she falls under this team lead, this team lead and this team lead. So we'll use the function COUNTIF. Now whenever we write a function, this help box opens up where we can see the different arguments which are to be passed in this function. So first is the range. That means, now here range means we will, in many functions we will see this range and criteria. So we should first understand what is range and what is criteria. So range means the range of the data over which this function is to be applied. Now here the range of the data where function is to be applied is this range, the team lead. So we will select this. Okay. So either we can select it like this just by placing the cursor over the whole column B, or we can particularly specify the range. For example, this is the range which we want to consider in which our data lies, or we can just click over the column. Next thing is criteria. Criteria means what criteria is to be followed while counting this range. So we have to follow the criteria that the team lead should match with the team lead mentioned in this column. So here the criteria is this column, because we want to count only those team members whose team leads are specified in this column. So this is our criteria. So either we can select the whole column or we can choose that particular range, right? So this is one way, or you can simply choose this criteria, say I2. We'll be choosing the whole range in the form of criteria also after some videos when we'll talk about array formulas and some other advanced formulas. So for now, our criteria is this, Tracy Jacobs. So we want to count the size of Tracy Jacobs team, for which we have used the COUNTIF function, in which the range in which we have the team lead names is this particular column, column B, or the range particularly from B2 to B22, and the criteria here is Tracy Jacobs. So it is in cell I2, so we have selected I2. And now we'll close this bracket to get this result. Okay, and you can also see that Google Sheet suggests us to autofill the whole column. So in many of the cases we are interested, as in this case, that it gets autofilled. In some cases we might not be interested, so we can put a cross here. So at present I would select autofill. And another option of autofilling is that as soon as you write a formula in the first cell of a column, after writing the formula you need to press Control Enter. So in that case also it gets autofilled. Okay, so we have got here the size of the team of the different team leads. So we can even verify if we put a filter here in this range. So we can also verify whether these results are correct. So it says that Tracy Jacobs team size is 3. So let us see how many times Tracy Jacobs. Yes, as we can see, his name appears thrice, and all the team members are unique. That means different. Right. In some cases, there could be duplicate entries where we'll use some other approach while counting. But in this particular example, all the agent names are distinct, so we can use this straightforward approach. And similarly, we can verify for Edward Brown also. So let us see how many team members does Edward Brown have. So you can see his name appears twice. So that means our results are correct. So it is very important that once we apply the formula, we should also verify the results. So in this way, we can determine the team size using the COUNTIF function. Now here we had only one criteria, that we wanted to calculate or rather count all those entries where the team lead's name is as given in this column, like Tracy Jacobs, Joan Calibro, Tara Jonathan, etc. But there could be sometimes multiple conditions, that in addition to team lead's name, maybe we also want to check the category under which the different agents fall under that team lead. So we have a similar example here, that we have certain categories and departments associated to those categories, and we want to know that how many agents fall under a particular category and department. So we have two conditions here to satisfy. One is that when we count the agents, it should be from this category and this department. So when we have multiple conditions, more than one condition to count, then we use the function COUNTIFs. So let's start the function with an equal to sign. and write COUNTIFs. Now here the first thing is criteria range 1. Since we are having multiple criteria, since we are using COUNTIFs function, so Google Sheet automatically understands that we are having more than one criteria to satisfy while counting. So it will suggest you criteria range 1, criteria 1, then criteria range 2, criteria 2, etc. And whenever this help box opens up, usually we have some associated examples with that function to get some more clarity. So you can always take help of these examples to understand any function better. So our first criteria range is the category. So this is the category, and the first criteria is mentioned here. These are the different categories. Then the second is the department. So here we have the department as our second criteria range, and the criteria, that means which all departments are to be considered, is given here. So let's close this equation. So it again suggests to control enter, or you can just click here. So it gets auto populated. So you can see that here I used a different method, like I only specified I2 as the criteria, while here I selected the whole columns range. Okay, so both of these approaches work well, right? And sometimes we have our criteria located only in a particular cell, only in a single cell. Okay, so we'll see how to go around such cases also. In such cases, we put a $sign in the while specifying the cell reference, so as to fix that particular cell reference as the criteria. So we will see all these things gradually when we move in this course ahead. So now let's verify any one entry. Let us say we want to see if category 1 LAS in department 2 Go has 3 agents or not. So let us apply a filter here. So category is 1 LAS and department is 2 Go. So this is our category 1 LAS, and in the department 2 Go you can see that we are having 3 agents: Chelsea Thomas, Kia Davis and Tara Jonathan. So in this way we can count using multiple criteria. And another function is to count the total number of team leads. Okay, so in this case we need to use an equation, sorry, not count A, we will use here count unique. Why count unique? Because we are having the name of team leads in this column B, but they are appearing multiple times. For example, Juan Calblio, his name is appearing here, then here, and then here, and here. So we basically want to find the total number of team leads in this department or office. So since the name of a particular team lead is appearing multiple times, we want to consider, even if a team lead's name appears 5 times, we want to consider it only once while counting the total number of team leads. So although we are having 21 agents here who are assigned to different team leads, but the unique team leads are only 8, as we can see using this equation count unique. Okay, so there are different functions which are related or similar to count, but we have to actually see which one is to be used when. So here we have used 3 functions of counting. One is COUNTIF, then COUNTIFs, and then count unique. So thanks for watching this video. Let's meet in the next video. Bye bye.